Hey everybody, and a warm welcome to a new story. Today's story is called Don't Pay on Time? Alright, let's play the game. From the PROREVENGE subreddit. I hope you like it and will enjoy the time. If you like my content and this kind of videos, please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. As always, this story is told from the original writer's point of view. The link is down below in the description. Enjoy it. I know this is long, I feel like it's worth it though. I am not an English teacher, sorry for my poor grammar, I am just a boyfriend. My so worked at a private school in South Korea, also known as a hagwon. Hagwon teach all kinds of subjects and this particular one taught English. They would hire native English teachers from around the world to come to Korea and teach English. Although I have never taught English in Korea, I've been in Korea long enough to be very familiar with the laws, practices, and heard numerous horror stories. I am also good friends with a Korean who is a lawyer that specializes in business disputes. So I met my girlfriend. She was on her second contract in Korea at a new school, as the first school she worked at the owner retired and shut it all down. That was actually a pretty positive experience. He always paid on time. When he informed everyone he was shutting down the school, he'd of course pay out everything agreed upon in the contracts, but also any unused vacation time, sick time, plus he would double that year's bonus as thank you. My girlfriend told him in her contract she had a free flight home at end of contract but didn't plan on using it. So the owner of her first school told her that's fine, he'll just pay her an extra $1,000 as that is what the flight would cost anyway. So my girlfriend found a second school to work at after her first school shut down due to retirement of the owner. However, her second school had some warning signs that I was concerned about. 3 foreign teachers, all are on their first-year contracts. Typically, if a school is a good, you'll get a few teachers who are willing to sign on to second, third, etc. year contracts. Not the case, which I felt was odd, especially for a school that had been around for years. The school had a pretty low student population count, just under 100. I've always heard you want about 50 students per teacher for cash flow, etc. reasons, unless you're a high-end school. Also, apparently payday was supposed to be between the 10th and 15th, they said, in case of holiday or weekend. Oh well, not my business. This was still very early in our relationship. 2 months into our relationship, my girlfriend is annoyed. I find out that her school has only paid half her salary and will be paying the other half in 1 week. This was a massive red sign to me. I gave my girlfriend advice what to do at this point. She ignored me and said, "They are just having a little cash flow issue, some students haven't paid on time." Okay, whatever. 2 months later, we get invited to a dinner hosted by the owner's husband and wife. I got off work early and headed on over. Red sign number 2. Both husband and wife drove very nice cars. The wife had a Tesla and the husband had a very nice BMW 5 Series. Off we go to dinner. I got to dinner. My goal was to learn as much about my girlfriend's school owners as possible, so I jump into a pleasant conversation. More red signs to follow. They have 3 kids, 2 young ones and 1 older one. The 2 young one attends numerous hagwons for various things. This is expensive. And their oldest is attending college in America, also expensive. They live in the rich part of the town, in a very large apartment, which I was able to find out is financed, aka high payments. They are about to start a new marketing campaign to get more students, as numerous students have dropped out lately. They know they don't have the student population to maintain what they need to maintain. Red signs are going off in my head like this place is heading straight for the cliff and everyone needs to jump into the ship now. Not enough students, owners have a ton of bills, they won't be staying in business long. Again, not really my place to say anything at this point, but I took a mental note. Next month my girlfriend's payment is late again. Let's just say she kept telling me to mind my own business each time I tried to give her advice. This went on like this for 3 months. And finally, she went an entire month without getting her full salary. She got about a 1/3. Final red sign. Girlfriend comes over to a letter on her door of her apartment for eviction. You see, in Korea it's common for the school to pay the rent, and provide housing. Apparently they haven't been paying rent. Girlfriend is mad, she's broke, and about to become homeless. The time for action is now. Remember when I said I knew what to do? Pro-revenge starts here. I had her check her national pension, tax records, and health care information. all of which are legal requirements for her to maintain her visa. Even though her school hasn't paid those things for months. She's required to pay them. I'm fuming pissed. This school is royally f***ing over my girlfriend and that's not cool. My girlfriend is distraught cause she's a very prideful woman that now has to ask her boyfriend that's me for help. I pull into the savings and pay up all her requirements and set up regular monthly payments to ensure that even if her school doesn't pay, which they haven't, she can maintain her visa. I then ask her a favor. I want to sit down with her co-teachers. Experience has taught me, she's not the only one getting FKED over. However, do you know what the beautiful thing about this is? You see, the Korean government is sick and tired of schools bringing over foreign teachers and f***ing them over. In the past, those teachers who have gotten FKED up have gone crawling to their respective embassies. Oftentimes homeless, penniless, with nowhere to turn. Because their employer didn't have the resources to meet their contractual obligations, and many schools were getting shut down, especially on the third compliant smiley face. I tell all her co-teachers to keep going to work, they have to maintain their visas, and I would get back with them in a day or so. I also am good friends with a Korean who is a lawyer that specializes in business disputes. Remember that part? This lawyer and I go way back. I've known him for a better part of a decade. He helped me navigate my divorce. I gave him a couch to sleep on when he was going through his divorce. I once loaned him money, he paid me back, and we both really liked helping each other out. Now I'll spoil the fun for you. No, this lawyer, my friend, is not going to be suing the school, but. So I called up my friend and said, hey, I want to go drink some soju and talk to you about something and maybe hit you up for a favor. He goes, sure thing. We go to our favorite barbecue place, start pounding back the soju as I explain to him the situation. He's getting madder and madder. He's upset because he feels like this is giving those foreigners a bad view on his country and he hates Koreans that make Korea look bad. And I ask him to help file claims with the labor board. With the goal of getting them paid. Getting them a letter of release so they can switch to D10 visas and find a better school or leave Korea altogether if they choose. Getting the school shut down. Now my friend wouldn't be suing the school as a government-appointed lawyer would be, since this is a labor board issue he really doesn't need to do much. However, when a Korean lawyer who specializes in business law calls the labor board to file a complaint about a breach of contract with an English teacher against a hagwon, that carries more weight than if the teacher goes through it by themselves. Also, I feel like it helps the communication and eliminated potential language disputes. This would be compounded by the fact if each of those teachers filed separate cases against the same school a few days apart. He agrees to help. Strike 1. Girlfriend goes up first. My friend sits down with her, collects what evidence she has, calls the labor board. Compliant 1 filled. Bam. Girlfriend goes to school. Her boss is pissed. Her boss approaches her and asks, how can you betray me? My girlfriend said, pay me my money. Boss asks, how can you do this? Girlfriend said she smiled and said, this is just the start. Strike 2. Strike 1 is still underway with the labor board coming down the necks of the hagwon owners demanding payment. Demanding to know my girlfriend hasn't been paid. Friend calls the labor board, same case manager, he files case number 2 against the school. Next day my girlfriend and strike 2 teacher is called into a meeting with her owner and husband. They want to work out a payment plan and give them a letter of release. Girlfriend says full payment in full of all money owed plus bonus for completion of contract prorated for months completed or no deal. The owner tells her that's not possible. Girlfriend said that's fine, full payment or no deal. Strike 2.5. My friend finds out what the hagwon owners tried to do. He advises my girlfriend and her co-teachers if that happens again do not engage in any negotiations, hand them his business card over. And tell them if they have a settlement offer they can call their lawyer. He gives business cards to all teachers. Strike 3. Bam, wham, open a can of worms folks, we are here. Co-teacher 3 goes to my friend, he calls the labor board, guess what? Same case manager has gotten 3 valid labor disputes over breach of contract from the same school all in a matter of 2 weeks. This school is now not only a liability to its employees, but the Korean government. The hits land. Labor board apparently called the school, demands that all salaries, pension payments, taxes, health insurance premiums, and rent will be paid in full. within 10 days, or the education license and business license will be revoked and the school's assets will be seized and sold to pay the teachers what they are due. In addition, creditors, etc., who are also very likely owed money will be paid. Left hook lands. My girlfriend said the next day at school was crazy. The owners were freaking the fuck out. Their entire lives was falling apart. They had a government lawyer so far up there they couldn't even sit down. That's when the owners decided they would pull all the teachers into a meeting and work out a settlement. Keep in mind, at this point the school owed approx $20,000 in back wages, health care premiums, pension payments, and future liabilities on top of whatever rent was due for all their apartments, which by this point were all under separate eviction proceedings. The owners offered each one of them $1,500 in cash that day if they would be willing to drop the labor dispute. Each one of the teachers pulled out my friend's business card and said, "Any settlement offers should be made to my lawyer." I so wish I could have seen this happen. The owners grab the business cards, look at the teachers and go, "You have a Korean lawyer?" They answer, "Yes." "You all have the same lawyer?" They answer, "Yes." Can you imagine, have 3 separate legal issues from 3 separate people, and finding out the same lawyer is representing each individual suing you? How that must feel. "Will you take the 1.5 now and we work out a payment plan?" They all say, "Talk to my lawyer," at the same time. They leave the meeting. That night all 4 of us partied. They all felt like complete badass. Their owners now knew how truly fucked they were. We had a pretty good party that night. The end was near. The owners dodge a bullet, for now. The labor board was really pissed. According to my friend who was following up with the labor board, the process to resolve this was being fast-tracked. And the labor board was deadly serious about shutting this school down if they couldn't pay by the deadline. Apparently the owners were trying to secure a loan to pay the teachers and keep the teachers employed and the school open. They filled for extensions, and got some more time. They did pay out partial salaries which helped the teachers get by day by day. By this point my girlfriend had already been evicted and was living with me, and I was supporting her. She was loaning her partial payments to her co-teachers who didn't have the same support. "Sir, it is time to drop, fat boy." It was a Thursday. My girlfriend had just arrived at work. Yes, she was still legally required to work at a school that wasn't paying her. When shortly after she started, a bunch of Koreans arrived in suits, posted up notices. 15 minutes go by and one of the Korean men in a suit steps inside of the classroom, introduces himself and says all the students are going be getting bused home for today. All the kids are loaded onto the buses and each one given a notice to give to their parents. My girlfriend is instructed to wait until all the students are gone. Process takes about an hour, and then my girlfriend is told she is to go home and the labor board will contact her for the next step. They step outside. There is a moving van, with a few Korean men waiting around. My girlfriend calls my friend the lawyer, who calls the labor board. The school has been foreclosed on, their assets are going be